photo of you. Somebody's written, isn't she lovely? That's my grandfather wrote that. It was in his scrapbook. But that's your wedding day there.
Is it really? Good heavens. I was just thinking about my wedding day the other day and wondering, you know, what the wedding, I've forgotten really what it was like. Fancy that.
That was at the church in Albany.
Yeah.
Was it St John's?
York Street? Is it York
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Beautiful church, that.
Yeah.
Well, Mum and Dad were married there.
Right, and that's yourself, Audrey. Do you remember that being taken?
Yeah. Isn't that amazing?
And,
She wasn't a bad-looking tart then.
Lovely, yeah. And you would have been teenager, you reckon?
Whose wedding was that at then? Oh, that was a bridesmaid.
And there's you as a littlie.
For heaven's sake.
That looks like it was
In one of Mum's gardens.
Yeah, would have been that, yeah. In Rocky Crossing, wasn't it?
Yep.
And what are your memories from there? Do you remember much about that?
Rocky Crossing.
Yeah.
Oh, look, we used to go over there so much, paddle in the water, and that was our swimming hole, you see.
Yeah.
And we did spend a lot there in that creek.
Yeah. Great spot. I used to spend my school holidays there, and that was in the late 60s, early 70s. I was still in primary school, but I learned to ride a bike, Rocky Crossing, and used to look at all the birds.
So who did you stay with when you came down?
I stayed with mainly your mum and dad.
Right.
You had, of course, your two kids by that time.
Yeah.
And your house was near there, wasn't it? It was
Yes,
on the same property or adjacent?
Yeah, Dad divided his property because he had a lot of land and he gave us about half.
Right, yeah. And Susan, she had an A-frame, didn't she?
Well, we gave Susan a few acres when she needed it.
Yeah.
She was on her own with her child.
That was a nice place too.
And of course she's in Queensland now and loves it.
I believe so, yeah. No, that's great. And Adele, is she in Fremantle or?
Yes.
They've got a shop of some sort, haven't they? These are the five sisters.
Yes.
With your mum.
Those five sisters.
Yeah. Oh, this is a video of the five sisters. That was at Adele's wedding in 1970.
Those sisters were wonderful together.
Yeah. I loved them, they were great. I stayed with them or visited at different times.
Look at them.
Yeah. And that's Nell was taking the photo, I think, but the other girls are there. Now this is your tree, family tree. So Ken was your husband.
Yes.
There's yourself. And then we've got Christina Nilsson.
Mum.
Yep. And Albert.
Yeah.
And then Albert's parents I've got here is
Soundnesses.
Yep. William James and Emily.
Fathers.
And goes back to there. So that goes back to the mid 1800s. But
That's amazing.
you remember your grandparents?
Oh yes. Yes, well and truly.
They were lovely. You stayed with them in that?
Yep.
Yeah. There was a newspaper article about when you visited at one time. Now this is the ship. The ship from New Zealand to WA.
Yes, I remember that well.
Yeah. That's John. You got to say goodbye to John, didn't you, when you were very young?
Yes, Mum said to me, go and kiss him goodbye, because he was very sick in the old farm, you know. And I remember going across and kissing him and his white hair. I can remember that as clear as anything.
Mm. It's amazing how we remember those things.
And then Uncle Arthur, remember?
Yeah.
Because in the end, you know, he used to roam around the bush. He used to come over to, when Ken and I would be, we'd go up to Dad's gate to say good night, and we'd see a lantern, and it'd be Uncle Arthur lost in the bush. Poor old darling. And then he went into care in Perth, and they discovered what actually was causing this. And he was in care for a long time, really.
He was in Greylands Asylum for the Insane, yeah. And he had a brain tumour.
Yes, he did.
Brain bleed.
I found the
and
grave.
walking across, you know, to the old farm through the bush, it was quite a few miles through the bush in a tiny little track. And yet sometimes when Uncle Arthur was sick, Mum would give me a big basket full of food and everything for this kid to walk through the bush to go over to Uncle Arthur. And sometimes I'd get in that, it was a big old house, as you remember it.
Yes, yeah.
And I'd be scared to sort of go inside, because there was one room there that was lined with all funny faces and everything. Do you remember that?
No, it was gone when yeah.
And I used to be frightened to walk up the passage past this room.
Yeah.
Because there was 3 big bedrooms on one side and then a passage in the middle, and then a big lounge and a big kitchen, and then another room that they used to do, I don't know what they did, it was all sorts of things. Yeah. And there was 3, what do you call them? Outside. Verandas. 3 verandas around the house, and they were big rooms. But they used to, all my aunties used to go down to the creek to do the washing.
Really? Right.
And they had a funny little shed down there, and the creek was running past, so they had the water, and that's where they did their washing.
This is my mum.
Olive,
yeah. And
Olive was beautiful.
Do you remember when she was Miss Albany?
Yes, of course I do.
And did you go to the actual...
No, I don't think so, no. Oh. But I remember it well.
They were talking about it and that?
With Auntie Nell telling me she was so proud of Olive.
Oh, yeah. Amazing.
And then Olive had... children were always sort of dressed beautifully and everything, weren't they? Olive's children.
Yes, she took a lot of pride.
She did.
That, yeah. But yeah.
Is that when she drowned?
Yeah, when we lost her. It was the 23rd of January in 1916.
Yes, she went to Auntie Nancy, didn't she? And left her child.
She went to, they said in the paper she went to Mrs. Strickland, which I think was Nanny. Her daughter, Nanny, Madeline. And
she didn't say she was going to do that, but the next thing was she'd gone...
Yes, there is a story that she had an argument with John, her husband, and she walked into town.
Yes.
I think she had Nancy with her.
And she left her child there with Auntie Nell, didn't she?
She could, and then she walked into town and she went into Madeline Nelson, who married William Strickland, and so there, John came in from the farm, but she wouldn't come out of the bedroom, walked right around Marine Drive, the butcher saw her, and then a Mr. McCall found her on Middleton Beach with a pattern of shoes off.
But see, they say her granddad, he used to be away a heck of a lot, getting, you know, work and everything.
John Nelson.
And she'd be there alone with all these kids, and she had a hard time.
Yeah.
She was really driven to what she did.
And she lost twins, didn't she?
Yes.
So she could have had a bit of depression.
Yes, I remember all that in the dear old house, and then, you know, Mum would give me this food to go across the bush to Uncle Arthur always, give him food, and you know, he had that funny old car.
T Ford?
Yes.
That was stolen, Dad said.
Yes, I believe so.
Yeah.
Pretty sad.
Sorry to interrupt you, darling.
No, not interrupting. Whatever comes to mind. Arthur Nielsen died on the 18th of June. That was in 1949, 47.
Ah, right. Well, I was born in 1932.
Sorry?
So I was a bit older than what I thought.
Oh, okay. Loving brother of Neil, Madge, Tess, that's your mum, Mona, Guildford, Nancy.
All the sisters together, do you remember them?
Yeah.
They were really funny, weren't they?
Yeah.
They were.
They got on so well.
They did. They were amazing.
Considering what they went through.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, this is
Who is
Arthur's, that's me.
All right.
Yeah, and that's the grave of Arthur in Karrakatta.
Oh,
But
do you know, I was just wondering where Uncle Arthur was buried.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was Karrakatta.
Yes. Yeah, and
I was just thinking of that in bed the other night.
Yeah.
Because I didn't remember that.
No headstone, Pete, though, is there? No.
I'm sorry?
No headstone.
no,
No.
it's an unmarked,
Yeah.
but they helped me find it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now this is the electoral roll.
Yep.
There's yourself, Audrey Mona,
Yeah.
Rocky Crossing, and that was in 1980. So Susan Kerry's there,
Yeah.
and there's Kenneth Roy,
Right.
your husband, and the three of you on that, the electoral roll I had. This is in New Zealand. Bethwyn came up with this.
Yes.
The school photo of your mum, Tess
Yes.
Nielsen, and that's her there. It's a bit fuzzy, but that's her there.
That's amazing.
Yeah, 1912. And
That's a school.
yeah, so she would have been just a little.
Yes. Gosh, that's wonderful to have that.
You were driving past, weren't you, Beth? And
Well, I recognised Peroa because Nanny was born in Peroa on her birth certificate, and I said, let's stop. We went in there, and there was a 1904 picture with Arthur in it,
up on the wall.
and they just had a big celebration there, and the teacher there sent me the other photos. Yeah.
Amazing, yeah.
Yeah, great.
That's your mum.
Yes.
And she was with the others, I think, the other sisters. That's your mum in that school, in a school photo. I think that one was 1912.
God.
And she never had these, did she? Like, you've never seen these before?
No?
No.
Yeah.
I gave Audrey some before, but
Yeah,
Oh, there's
There's
the old car.
beautiful.
Many a ride we had sitting in the back. They'd take us to the beach or something that was really marvellous in
Yeah.
those days.
You sat in the back, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's your mum there, on the back there.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
And John is fairly grey there. I worked out, well, I asked the four,
Is that Auntie Nancy?
That's my grandma, Auntie Nell.
Ah, right.
And then there's Magdalene, I think, in the back there. And yeah.
Ah, fancy having that.
Is that the T Ford photo? I think I got that off Auntie Nancy. Yeah. Did I send that to you?
I think I already had it actually.
Oh, right. Yeah, I got mine off Auntie Nancy.
Nancy, was it? Oh, okay. Yeah. And that's colourised, but it's a colour one of John and Christina.
Yes. Oh, he was quite a young man there.
He was young, yeah. How do you remember him? Was he a stern?
I only remember a man with a lot of white hair. He used to make a fuss of me.
Yeah.
Treated me so well, but he wasn't well, from what I remember, when Mum and I had to go right through the bush, you know, to take goodies for him, and when he wasn't well, and then the day that the ambulance came that took him away, and a lot of the aunties were there that day. Because there was two big pine trees or something. The house was here and then two big trees, and they took him down through these trees. Just like yesterday.
I think one of those trees is still there near the truck, I'll say. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And they're fairly young there. There's your mum, Magdalene and
Gosh,
Mona.
they're alike, aren't they?
They are, aren't they? Yeah, you can see that likeness. There's a bit of both there, John and
Madeline, Mona. Only Auntie Nancy not there. She was the baby, wasn't she?
Oh, yeah, yeah. Maybe they're so young she wasn't born.
She was a lot younger, wasn't she?
Yeah.
And they've all got nice modern hairdos.
Yeah, yeah. Back then.
That's lovely.
This is in New Zealand. It's Alan Strickland with the Nielsen's Road sign.
Yes, yes.
And,
Nielsen's Road.
In New Zealand.
That was something, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was, and we've got a street sign here too. But was it Gladstone siding? Yeah, in New Zealand. That
you went back, didn't you?
Yeah, took Dad back. Yeah.
And that's the Nielsen Road in Albany.
That's right, yes.
The property's not on Nielsen Road, is it? It's like a block off.
No, it's not.
Well, it used to go, the road used to go straight up, but then they split it.
That's right.
And it used to go up the side of the property, but they changed that name.
Yeah.
Well, it'll always be a memory, but people will forget and think, oh, who was that Nielsen?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. This was in the newspaper. Mr. and Mrs. Albert Souness and their daughter Audrey are holidaying with Mr. Souness' parents, Mr. and Mrs. Souness. That would have been in Mount Barker, yeah, I think. Wherever they were living at the time. But
when I was a baby, for a little while, I was in Mount Barker, but then they came to Albany.
Yeah. Right. That was in the local newspaper. That's the grave of, would have been your grandfather, William James.
Oh, that's
Souness.
Granddad.
Yeah. And your grandmother was Emily. And they died...
that Emily, is that the Souness?
Souness, yeah.
Yes.
Is that your grandparents?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, well, Granddad died when I was in hospital giving birth to Adele.
Really? All right. Yeah. And that's a young... mullet,
there's Dad.
the mullet was in fashion, and that's your dad,
Yes.
yeah, quite young. He was in the army, wasn't he?
Yes, he was.
And, yeah. And that's
Oh,
a picture.
there they are again.
Is Albert and your mum,
Tess.
and don't know who the other lady is.
No, I can't see.
Well, might be one of the sisters.
Yes, I dare say it is.
Yeah.
I can't work out which one though.
Might be Magdalene by the, you only see part of the face, but I think that's Magdalene. And I was going to ask you, this is, where are we, Olive's brother. I was named after him, Robert Cumming. He was a name in Albany for his bravery in World War II, and they showed newsreels and things in the cinema here in Albany.
Yeah.
Do you remember any of that at all? Like the
Sinking of the boat.
sorry.
There was a boat that sank over in Sydney or something.
Yeah,
He saved people.
he dived down and
Yes.
pulled out some of the
Yeah.
sailors, and got well, he didn't get a medallion because I think the government was embarrassed that the Japanese got into the harbour.
Yeah. Was that
Remember
Robert Melville? Or not?
Yes, yeah. That he was at our place on that. I don't
Was
remember
he?
him, but I would have met him. But yeah.
And where did he go from there? Like,
From there he went back to Sydney, and he died in 1961. Adele's wedding.
good heavens.
I don't think that picture is, but this is the arrival. So
That's amazing.
that's my mum at the back there in the black. She turn around,
Yeah.
and there's relations, and I've got Susan there, and people arriving in the car.
That's
That'll be the bridesmaids.
amazing.
And the little one, I'm not sure, I think that's my sister Primrose's daughter, Christine, and this is the bridal car arriving.
Primrose was gorgeous.
Yeah, she was a flower girl. There's Ken, and it's Adele, about going.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, it's the husband, and there's some video of that's in Albany, down on the park, and is it 54
They
years
love
ago?
being together, those sisters.
Of course, they would have bonded through everything that was going on, that had happened. Yeah. Lovely.
Aren't they beautiful?
Yeah, couple of nice memories there. But did you have any questions, Beth, that you can?
I'm just trying to think of anything else.
Yeah, I mainly wanted to show you the photos
That's amazing, darling.
and
Yeah.
whatever memories sort of come back. But there's some great things there you came up with.
Just to see all those faces again, and
Yeah.
Audrey, have you got any photos of the old farm out there?
no, I haven't, darling. No, I haven't got any photos of that.
No.
That'd be amazing.
It's a shame, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because as far as, I suppose the house wasn't enormous, but to me as a child, and walking through the bush and everything, and get there, you looked, because you came out on the side of the hill and looked down to the house, and it all looked so big.
Yeah. And what sort of fruit trees did your grandparents have?
Well, he had everything. Every sort of fruit you could
Did
think
he
of.
used to export the apples to New Zealand?
Yes. He had a big orchard on one side of the hill, then there was a creek run through the bottom, and even all around the house was fruit trees.
Yeah. There's still
And then down the front was a lot of bush that they used to walk through to get down to the creek to do the washing.
yeah, because there's still a fig tree, lemon, a couple of pear trees.
Yes, I used to go out and visit the people, you know, on that farm
Yeah.
often.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like,
No.
you couldn't sort of think
No.
of it as
No.
it was.
No. No. And,
But they were more horse and cart days.
and who used to take the produce through in the horse and cart? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.